Hi everybody, we are talking about synonyms in English. These synonyms are noun and noun phrases. One of these phrases is working life. Using the noun vacation instead of job is a wonderful phrase, is one of the wonderful reference. This is an amazing word to show off your vocabulary range, but remember that vacation refers to someone's main job or someone's main job or occupation, usually with connotation that it's a suitable job for you and that you should dedicate time to it. For example, teaching is more than a job, it's a lifelong commitment to shaping minds. To teaching is more than a vocation, that's a lifelong commitment to shaping minds. Another common word is education. Another field is education. Some words refers to education. Let's see a nice word that means school. Why not use institute? Why not use institution? This word can also refer to any place of education like college or universities too. For example, it's my goal to attend a prestigious university to study medicine. Now, the advanced version, it's my goal to attend a prestigious institution to study medicine. This is a great way to show your advanced knowledge of English vocabulary. This is probably one of the most used words in the whole IELTS exam. Problem, the word problem. Lots of the exam section makes reference to various problems and issues across a wide range of topics, so it's helpful to know synonyms for this word. You may already use such synonyms like issue or challenge, but if you want to take your vocabulary to the next level, try the noun quandary. We, we often use this word when we want to express a state of being unsure of what to do in a difficult situation. Let's see an example of these synonyms. The government faces a problem regarding raising pollution levels. The government faces a quandary regarding raising pollution levels. Here I am saying that the government has a problem because they don't know what to do to address the situation. We, we recently looked at change as a verb, but we use it as a noun very regularly too. Instead of change, we might want to replace this with the word shift. For instance, if we are talking about cities, we might say the city experienced a drastic change in the volume of traffic after the roads were restored. The city experienced a drastic change in the volume of traffic after the after the roads were restored. Commuting commuting time drops commuting time dropped significantly. We could change this to the city experienced a drastic shift in the volume of traffic after the roads were restored. Commuting times dropped significantly. Let's move to wildlife and nature. Instead of repeating the word animal, we could refer to a species. A species, uh, a species, a species is an unusual noun as it remains. A species is unusual noun as it remains the same in singular and plural form. Take a look at that in the following sentences. The bat is a fascinating species with incredible hearing sensitivity. The bat is a fascinating species with incredible hearing sen- sensitivity. Sensitivity. The rainforest is home to a wide range of species, including parrots, monkeys, and various big cats. Back to the topic of cities and towns. So, why don't we replace city with metropolis? Metropolis, a word that means really big city. For example, living in a big city has its perks. Living in a big city has its perks, like well-connected transport networks and plenty of social events taking place. Show off your vocabulary by saying living in a metropolis has its perks, like well-connected transport networks and plenty of social events taking place. Often, we might talk about how life in cities and towns affects the people living there. To replace the word people, we can use the noun citizens, which specifically refers to people that live in a place. This is great because it can replace the relative clause people who live, making your speaking or writing more concise. I am of the opinion that expending I am I'm of the opinion that expending time I'm of the opinion that expanding public transport network in cities is beneficial because it can provide more options to the people who live there. I am of the opinion that expanding public transport networks in cities is beneficial because it can provide more options to the citizens. Also, house is one of the popular topic. A good way not to repeat the word house too much is to replace it with residence. His house is located in countryside. His residence is located in the countryside. This is so easy. We might also talk about financial topics. In order to refer to the word money, we might also use revenue. However, this only refers to money that is earned. However, it only refers to money that is earned. So be careful with this phrase. We can't replace the word money in all contexts. Another way of saying revenue would be profit. Let's see an example. The money's the company's money earned has increased this year. The company's revenue has increased this year. Additionally, another popular topic is crime and law. The noun law can be replaced with the word legislation. The government passed a new law on public safety. The government passed new legislation on public safety. Do you know do you notice that the first sentence uses the article a before the noun? This is because law can be countable and uncountable, whereas legislation is only uncountable. So far, our focus has been on content words that carry the main meaning and idea of a sentence. It's also important to focus on the smaller component of language that help us show relationships between words and comment on them. The words that typically do this are prepositions, adverbs, and quantifiers. Let's have a look at some examples of common ones and their advanced synonyms. The word regarding is used when you are discussing a particular topic and you want to refer to that topic, similar to the word about. While the word regarding is already relatively advanced, we might want to use a more informal yet advanced version of this when it comes. For example, regarding communication skills, I believe that this should be a taught in school nowadays. Regarding communication skills, I believe that this should be taught in schools nowadays. This can be changed to when it comes to communication skills, I believe that this should be taught in schools nowadays. This is a great way of demonstrating, and you know to use more natural phrases, particularly in the speaking exam. Another common word is mainly. People in my neighborhood mainly shop at chain stores. We can change the word to predominantly here. People in my neighborhood predominantly shop at chain stores. This is such an excellent way of showing that you know advanced vocabulary. Let's look at the common word very. You may use really a lot too. Now and again, replace both of them with the fantastic word extremely. Here is a sentence. Learning synonyms is a very or really good way to boost your band score. Now, look at how those can be replaced. Learning learning synonyms is an extremely good way to boost your band score. Learning synonyms is a very good way to boost your band score. Learning synonyms Learning synonyms is an extremely good way to boost your band score. Don't forget to change a to an. Change a to an in that sentence. Also, the modifier extremely is typically used with credible adjectives, which describe qualities that can exist in different degrees. For example, extremely hard, extremely difficult. However, extremely should not be used non-credible adjectives because these describe qualities that are either at their maximum or binary in nature. For example, dead, perfect, unique. If we want to talk about large quantity of something, usually we use the word many. An advanced paraphrase of this is a plethora of. Have a look at this sentence. There are many reasons why people choose to travel solo. We can change this to there are a plethora of reasons why people choose to travel solo. We might also talk about an undetermined quantity of something, an amount that isn't big or small. Most of the time, we use some to express this. But how about trying to synonym a handful of? Let's have a look at that. Only some student Only some students were selected for the university scholarship. Only a handful of students were selected for the university scholarship. Last but not least, let's explore some commonly recurring phrases and their high-level alternatives. An essential linking word is however. It is a great way to show contrast between ideas, but to make it more advanced, we can use that being said. For example, the economy is improving. However, unemployment remains high. Unemployment remains high. The economy is improving. However, unemployment remains high. You can say the economy is improving. That being said, unemployment remains high. When concluding, a common phrase is in conclusion, but using in a nutshell is a much more natural concluding phrase and allows you to show off your vocabulary. For example, in conclusion, a proposal has more advantages than disadvantages becomes, in a nutshell, the proposal has more advantages than disadvantages. A wonderful synonyms for the although is albeit. For example, we could change this sentence. The film was well directed, although a bit predictable. The film was well directed. The film was well directed, albeit a bit predictable. This always goes in between two clauses. We don't put it at the beginning of a sentence. If used correctly, this will be really impress the audience. There is a great synonym for in general. That phrase is broadly speaking. For example, you might say, in general, most people prefer flexible working hours. Try that with the new phrase. Broadly speaking, most people prefer flexible working hours. Broadly speaking, most people prefer flexible working hours. IELTS is super easy with synonyms like this. The next phrase is, for example, this is a simple and clear, but when we repeat it many times, gives the impression that you don't have a wide range of vocabulary. An amazing phrase for this is as a case in point. So let's imagine you say, some governments are fighting against plastic waste. For example, Canada has prohibited single-use plastic. Now, with the new phrase, some governments are fighting against plastic waste. As a case in point, Canada has prohibited single-use plastic. Canada has prohibited single-use plastics. If you use them correctly, these words really can show off your vocabulary and improve your IELTS score. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching and listening.